Hello, this is Kedu Lyrics and welcome to today's session. If you are new to the channel, why not pause the video and click on the subscribe button and also turn on the post notification bell so you are always notified whenever a new video like this is released. Now, what you are seeing on your screen here is a meta-analysis showing a forex plot of the effect of intermittent fasting on the weight of type 2 diabetic patients. Now, although the concept is applied strictly to type 2 diabetics, the concept here we're going to talk about can be applied to any outcome measure. And so in this two-part series on meta-analysis or drawing the forex plot on the Kedu channel, we're going to first look at how we can extract this data from the individual articles that was included in this study, and two, how we can use the R platform to be able to generate a figure that looks like this. And so let's go on into extracting the data that generated this. Now, mind you, we mentioned that this is a plot of the effects of intermittent fasting on the weight of type 2 diabetics. So one, we should be able to see studies that have intermittent fasting as the experimental group or in the experimental group. And then there should be a control group as well. And there also should be measurements of weight pre and post the experimental control group. Then we can be able to do this. And so there are two studies that was used to produce this. So one is Wing and one is Lee et al. So we are going to go into those two articles and then try to see how we can extract the data to be able to generate this. Yeah, so basically the first thing we want to do is to create a simple extraction sheet. And so here in Excel, we have the extracting sheet. And so here we clearly define the study. So this is the Wing and this is the Elil et al. And then here we are looking at the mean weight pre-test in the experimental group, the standard deviation, and then the mean of the post test in the experimental group, as well as the standard deviation, and then the number or the sample of the experimental group. And then here the pre-test for the control, the standard deviation, the post mean for the control, and then the standard deviation as well as the sample of the control. So these are the data that we are going to extract in those two articles that focuses on intermittent fasting, on how it affects the weight of type 2 diabetics. So now let's go to those two articles and try to see how we can extract this data. Yeah, so the first article is this, the Wing et al. So this is talking about the effects of very low calorie diets on long-term glycemic control in obese type 2 diabetic subjects. So we're going to go to the tables that they have generated and be able to extract those information or data that we need. So here, the yellow highlights talks about the pre-test, and then the green highlights talks about the post-test. So post is after, pre is before. So this is the control group, and this is the experimental group. So when you read the method section, it clearly defines what the control and the experimental groups are. And so these articles will be The link to these articles will be shared on the description section of these videos so that you can be able to go and verify or also try to run the same analysis or similar analysis. So here, the pre-test for the control group is the mean is this, and the standard deviation is 11.7. The post is 83.5, and the standard deviation is 9.5. In the control group, we have the post as 94.4, and the standard deviation as 19.8, and the pre as 104.5, and the standard deviation as 21.5. So we are going to input all these data in that Excel sheet. So let's go to the Excel sheet, and then we input this data there. All right, so the pre for the experimental group, the standard deviation and all of that. So we also need the sample size for the experimental group and the sample size for the control group. So let's go back to that and then see it. All right, so here the control group is 16 and the experimental group is 17. So let's go back and enter that. Control is 16, experimental is 17. Okay, so go back. So control is 17, and then the control is 16. All right, so now let's go back to the second article and see what that one also has to say in terms of the reported values. So we come here. Because of the way it is turned upside down, we want to turn it. Good. So here we have the experimental group and then the control group. The yellow is pre, and then the green is post. So this is the pre-experimental, post-experimental, pre-control, pre-control. This is the mean, this is the standard deviation, mean, standard deviation, mean, standard deviation, mean, standard deviation. And what is the sample size of the experimental and control groups? It is not stated here, but when we climb up to the method section here, we see the control is 16, the experimental is also 16. That is the number that was analyzed. So they are both 16, 16. So this is good. And so we go back to our Excel sheet, and then we enter those information or data there. Yeah, so voila, we are done with entering our data from those two included studies. Now, this is just for demonstration of how you can extract data for generating a Forex plot that looks like what we showed earlier on. And so once there are a number of studies that meets your inclusion criteria, you can go through all those articles, and then step by step, you extract all the data that you need for that. Now, if you find content such as this useful, we encourage you to subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notification bell so you are always notified whenever a new video like this is released. In the next series, we are going to discuss how we can use this extracted data to be able to generate that Forex plot that we saw earlier. If it sounds like something you like to watch, why not search for that video and equally enjoy? Until we meet again on our next one, this is Schedulytics, and it's a bye.